Jim, beer to you. Welcome back, guys. So, today, the Dankwood. Sounds like Jay and Silent Bob from Founders Brewing. So this is part of their barrel age series. So this is a once a year beer for about 2 months. This one came out 2018. So looking at the bottle, they call this one a palate stunner that will send your senses spinning. So it's a barrel aged Imperial red IPA. So I'm thinking this is going to be a pretty complex beer with a lot going on with it. Nothing too much else on the barrel. For you statistic heads, this one is a 12.2% ABV and 65 IBU. So this is a big beast. But that's what you want with some barrel aged stuff. So let's get this guy out of the bottle into the glass, see what we're dealing with here. A little smoke off the glass there. That's always good. So there, on the pour, about 2 fingers of creamy white head there. A little hard to see in the lights, but a nice rosy amber color. So it's a red IPA, so there's going to be some red to it. And then just on the nose, let's get in there. Yeah, so this is bourbon barrel aged. Definitely smell that. There's wood, there's bourbon. It's also almost to be foam on my nose. But also some caramel undertones. Not picking up a whole bunch of hops there. A little bit of hops. But so a lot of times you do bourbon barrel aged beers or any kind of barrel aging beers. The reason why this one's such a big beast at 12% plus is because I have found that beers that don't have that tend to get lost. Like bourbon is a really strong flavor, and those barrels impart tons of flavor to whatever goes in them, especially if they're first reuse. So the first time after they've had bourbon in them, they put a lot of flavor in there. So if your beer isn't a flavorful beer and a high alcohol beer, I have found it usually doesn't hold up. This is the first one of the bourbon barrel IPAs I've reviewed. Most of them are all stouts and porters and that kind of thing. So amber color in the glass, some alcohol, some bourbon, some hot caramel on the nose. Let's dive in. Cheers. Ooh, yeah, there's a lot going on there. So I'll be honest, in the first sip, tons of bourbon flavor, tons of barrel notes, so that kind of oaky barrel note, maltiness, not a ton of residual sweetness. Not getting a ton of hops, but on the same token, I think that the hops are doing a really nice job bittering out that extra sweetness. It certainly doesn't have that IPA hop funk on the nose, although as it settles into the glass, I'm starting to get a little more hop on the nose than I did in the first couple of sips. So that's interesting. This thing's definitely warming up to it. Yep, a lot of oak and vanilla, so it's definitely barrel aged. Not a ton of the bourbon flavor, more just that kind of vanilla oakiness that really mellows out. Not tremendously hot, which is good for a 12.2% beer. Sometimes you get that alcohol hot, which is can be not necessarily the best flavor, but I think that did a really good job. Man, this is definitely opening up. The longer it's in the glass, the more it's warming up as I'm holding it, and the more sips I'm taking, the flavor is evolving. I'm definitely starting to get some hop on the aftertaste now. Yeah, definitely getting some hop that cuts through now. Still a lot of malty sweetness, still definitely that bourbon, that barrel note, but now I'm getting some of those hops on the backside of that. So this is complex. This is definitely something that you're going to sip. Obviously 12.2%. This is not a session beer. This isn't even, a seasoned beer. This is something you sip at the end of the night. But yeah, that's amazing. Every sip has been different. So I'm definitely starting to get some more of the dark fruit and some real dark caramel, brown sugar notes as well. And now hops are really starting to wake up on the palate. Man, this is really, this is surprisingly good. It's surprisingly complex. If you told me this was an IPA, initially in the first sip, I would not have believed it. I'm starting to believe that now. You can see that it's got that IPA backbone and it's really holding up well to the alcohol content. Cool, man. So let's rate it. 3.9 out of 5 on Untappd. Looking that up this morning. So pretty well reviewed beer. Really for Untappd, my own research has been if it's over 4, you're starting to get into that rarefied air, and this is pretty close to that. But I really like this beer. This is complex. It's not your cookie cutter IPA that's just doubled and tripled up on booze. And barrel aging, you can do barrel aging badly. A lot of folks are doing barrel aging, and when you barrel age, if you put it in too long, or you don't use the right kind of barrel, or quite frankly the base beer going in doesn't stand up to it real well, you can get some kind of really funky barrel aged beers. But this one is actually really well done. They kept it in the barrels for the right amount of time. It doesn't say on the website how long they barrel age it for. A year or less is usually pretty common, but yeah, this is good. So back to rating it, I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this. This is complex. It's just all kinds of things going on. It's definitely a sipper, but it's a really good sipper. So, hey, if you've had this or any of the other Founders beers, I've been doing a bit of Founders. I've been on a kick since they're very easy to get where I'm at right now. So it's kind of one of the nationally distributed craft breweries that I've been hitting hard on reviews. But if you've had Founders, if you have this, disagree, comment down below. Let me know what you think about this or anything else you'd like to see us do in the future. I'll tell you what I can get, what I can't get. Otherwise, please subscribe to the channel if you like the reviews. Doesn't cost anything. Just click the button down below. Click the bell to get informed when we have new fresh beer reviews out there. And share, tell a friend, and like everything you see here. So I think that's it for this guy. Until next time, see you guys around. Cheers.